Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Is the longest serving member of cabinet, the longest serving minister since 1994, having served in the presidency of Comrade Nelson Mandela, of President Thabo Mbeki, of President Kgalema Motlanthe, and of President Jacob Zuma. He has served as Minister of Transport, as Minister of Public Works, as Minister of Public Enterprises, as Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development, and of course, he is currently serving as Minister in the Presidency responsible for evaluation, performance, monitoring, and administration. Comrade Jeff Radebe is also a member of one of the highest decision-making bodies of the governing party. He's a National Executive Committee member of the ANC, a member of the National Working Committee, a member of the Central Committee of the South African Communist Party. But two of the most fascinating things that I'd like to leave you behind from his biography is that, firstly, there's a variety of the Protea flower that has been named in honor of Comrade Jeff. It has been named Radebe Sunrise. That's the first. The second is that for any of you wanting to cause chaos here, Comrade Jeff is also an honorary colonel at the South African Air Force in the Mobile Deployment Unit based here in Pretoria. We welcome Comrade Jeff to the mosque.
Good afternoon. Firstly, allow me to express my sincerest gratitude to Brother Adil Nchapeleng here, Sheikh Fadlal, and the leadership of the Rasooli Center for inviting me and also allowing me to join you today on this auspicious occasion of Jumu'ah. It is also very humbling to be invited to this extremely important gathering. Always heartening to see the Muslim community thriving in our South African rainbow nation. Indeed, the strength that we have as a nation is built on our diversity as South Africans and the incredible ability we have to respect and also to enhance each other's cultures. The history of our land was underpinned by racial discrimination, which inevitably saw discrimination across cultures, across religion. In crafting our democratic constitution, we sought to build a state that will in turn enable a model South African society, a society that is alive to the various aspirations of the people of this great rainbow nation. The world, as we all know, has seen many injustices, atrocities, gross human violations, world wars. We fought merely on the basis of discrimination of one people against another. Apartheid here in South Africa, its discrimination partly mirrored the discrimination that was ongoing around the world. In fact, the National Party racists ascended power in 1948. They were inspired, ironically, by the same Hitler against whom they had fought as part of the Allied forces during the Second World War. So as we gather here today, we must be very conscious that we cannot be truly free while others elsewhere in the world are yet not free. Our icon, the first president of the democratic South Africa, Mandela, was very conscious of this universal significance of the 1994 democratic breakthrough when he declared on that occasion of his inauguration, and I quote, "We dedicate this day to all the heroes and heroines in this country and the rest of the world who sacrificed in many ways and surrendered their lives so that we could be free. Their dreams have become reality. Freedom is their reward. Never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another and suffer the indignity of being the skunk of the world. Let freedom reign. The sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement. God bless Africa. Indeed, the Muslim community has played a pivotal role, and in doing so has helped all of us shape our post-1994 democratic dispensation. The high levels of tolerance we have today was leveraged in the trenches of political struggle when we together fought against racial discrimination. Of course, from time to time, racial and other forms of intolerance will rear their ugly head. Hence, we must continuously continue on that journey of nation building to ensure a socially cohesive society that is true to the noble ideals that are enshrined and entrenched in our democratic constitution. When I see so many Muslims here today, I see a rainbow nation. The strength that we have in our diversity and the respect for each other's cultures and our constitutional promise of equality, our constitutional promise of dignity for all our people must always reign supreme. Our South Africa's constitution, as I've said, provides the space for all religions to flourish, and most definitely Muslims have a very important role to play in public life. Our South African leadership, especially our ANC leadership, knows fully well the often ignored history of struggle and of slavery of many early Muslims in South Africa. It must be commended that even though the most extreme and testing times, the generations before you held strong, and despite the most extreme difficulties, mosques were built, centers were established, and Muslims fought side by side for their right to practice Islam. Many of those whose families were transported here many, many decades and centuries ago from India, from Indonesia and other places, now proudly, together with others across our country, identify as South Africans. And many of them are our most honored citizens, our struggle heroes and heroines, and our current leaders. They have, and many of you have, taken up extremely important role in our nation-building project. As the years go by, as the apartheid government crumbled, as the majority challenged the common oppressor, our people united in our diversity, the diversity which we must protect, the diversity that we must continuously build today. I'm very confident that it needs not be said, but I say it. I want to assure Muslim community that we from the African National Congress, the ANC, and its government will always respect, will always protect, will always advance the rights, the practices of Muslim community all over South Africa. In drafting the constitution of this land, our leadership, alongside the late iconic father of the nation, Mandela, knew that fundamental to any constitution is the importance of freedom and the protection of religious rights and religious practice. Since 1994, Muslims have been in our cabinet, have been in our parliament, have been in various municipality councils, virtually all levels of our government. I'm very proud to serve in the leadership of the ANC, in the leadership of our government led by President Zuma, with the likes of ANC ministers and deputy ministers that come from the Muslim faith, including Ibrahim Patel, Naledi Pando, Enver Serti, Fatima Chauhan, and several others at various levels, including mayors like Mpho Kuno, Abdul Rahman, and many, many others. As the ANC and its government, we do appreciate the value of prayer of Muslims, and we assure you that appropriate land must be allocated to the building of mosques and incorporating Muslim prayer rooms in many public spaces, including our airports. We have also made sure, through the Department of Basic Education, to facilitate the teaching at Muslim schools. In addition, a recent example is the approximately 130 imams around our country who have been certified as marriage officers by the Department of Home Affairs through a program that is aimed at popularizing certification among imams who conduct nikahs or Islamic marriages. We also note the contribution as well as the participation of the Muslim community in our struggle against apartheid. Whether it was through our leadership, such as those icons, Dr. Yusuf Dadoo, Ahmed Kathrada, and Imam Harun, or through the involvement of activists and community members in organizations such as the Islamic Medical Association, Muslim Youth Movement, or the Call of Islam, and other such groups which continue to play a pivotal role in our democratic processes. Our ANC leadership has continued and will continue to work very closely with the Muslim community and its representatives. My presence here today is both a show of my respect and my own appreciation and that of the African National Congress. The ANC is very clear in our appreciation. Recently, as you know, our Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa joined the Muslim community of Pretoria for Eid celebrations, and only last week, His Excellency President Zuma met with the Muslim Judicial Council in Cape Town. The ANC recognizes the ANC is very proud of the contributions made by our first Chief Justice of the Republic of South Africa, Chief Justice Ismail Mohammed. We are appreciative of the role of our first Minister of Justice, my predecessor, the late Dula Omar, as well as many, many others. We also do acknowledge the contribution today of the Muslim community, drawing from the traditions, drawing from the ethos of Islamic faith in building a non-racial and democratic South African society. We not only recognize that contribution in government, but beyond in areas of entertainment, of sports, of business, of charity, of social upliftment, of culture, and almost every sector that you can think of. Some notable national organizations like SANZAF, Gift of the Givers, ACAP, and individuals including Riyad Musa, Hasim Amla, Dr. Ridwan Mia, and many others who are involved in the project of nation building in our democratic society. We do appreciate all these efforts and see the Muslim community as a very positive force to build a better South Africa. As the ANC government, we want to assure you, as we have shown in the past, that we'll be on your side, shoulder to shoulder, in local battles, as well as on international issues that affect the vital interest of this community and our country. We will continue to defend the community against racists who try to prevent Muslim worship. We will prosecute those that commit hate crimes against Muslims. We will continue to fight Islamophobia whenever it occurs. We also reject with contempt attempts to demonize and label Islam as an extremist and terrorist religion. We know that Islam is the religion of peace, is a religion for justice. I will not abuse this platform today for asking for your votes, but rather I want to make some note of some of the developments and the achievements that the ANC government has done on our ongoing mutual relationship. The ANC government in the past 20 years has rolled out one of the largest housing projects in the world. We've built almost close to 4 million houses that benefit more than 12 million South Africans. We feed 10 million school children every single school day. The percentage of households that are today connected to electricity supply increased from 69% in 2001 to 86% in 2014. This amounted to over 5.8 million households in 2014, and figures show that over 2 million households in our country have benefited from the indigent support system for electricity in 2014. The ANC, being a people's organization and movement, unashamedly has a bias towards the poor, but the upliftment of the poor is also, as many of you will agree, is an upliftment for us all. Creating a better, creating a stronger, more peaceful and prosperous South Africa continue to be our goal. The Muslim community, perhaps more than any other relative to its size, is well aware and active in the work of the upliftment and also very active in civil involvement. We urge all of you to go out next week, Wednesday, on the 3rd of August, and participate in our democracy by voting. By voting, you can be able to ensure that we continue to build an even more prosperous and more thriving society of our dreams, a non-racial, democratic, and non-sexist society. Jumu'ah Mubarak.